Hello there everybody, Bilbo10,000 here, bringing you a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC Fighter Pack roster discussion video, because today I would like to have a discussion about one of the DLC characters that we are speculating to come after Joker. So, you guys remember a while back I did a video on the data mine leak, and that was where they found out codenames for two future characters, one being Jack, whom we are assuming is Joker, the other was Brave. Now, a user on my Twitter called @TomoTakino26 sent me a little Twitter thread, and while not the entire thread was necessarily interesting, there were a few very unique points that I want to bring up that I didn't know about, that they have informed me about, that I think might make the potential Brave character a little bit more interesting. So, you guys may be aware, but many people have been speculating that Brave means a Dragon Quest character. Specifically, everybody think it's going to be Erdrick. Now, it makes sense. I don't remember the exact translation, but something in Dragon Quest franchise does translate to Brave, I'm pretty sure. I assume it's like a class or something, but there definitely is a connection there, and people have made that connection, and it's the strongest connection to the codename that people have. Now, this user on Twitter, I'm gonna read through their thread and we'll dissect it one at a time, so let's just get straight into this. So, they say, remember when the data mine leak happened, they found 3 codenames for future characters, and a lot of people have been debating over who is what and so on. During that time, those codenames were Jack, Paku, and Brave, which had fans speculating there would be some DLC character announcements for Smash Ultimate. However, and this is something that happened very recently, I believe as of the Piranha Plant update, they deleted the code names in the source code of the game, specifically Brave. The codename Brave led people to believe that it is a Dragon Quest character, specifically Erdrick or 6th hero. I think X is... No, X is 10, I think. Oh god, no. 11th hero, Luminary in Japan, due to the fact that Square Enix like to market their products. I mean, that's just... Every company likes to market their products, to be fair. That's kind of the point. If you have a product, you need to market it, otherwise your product is going to fail. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. Now, I don't know if Shinya Kumazaki works with HAL Laboratory or Sora Ltd, let alone both, but Kumazaki apparently had posted a picture of Kirby with a shield. People thought the shield was the Dragon Quest series, and it is on Instagram. I will leave a link to it down below. It's a pretty nice shield, I've got to say, very well designed. Lovely little Kirby just kind of sitting there as well, absolutely adorable. And obviously, people jumped on this. Like, it's very simple to say that people jumped on this, because I mean the shield I think says Roto on it, I think, which I feel like was a word that I have heard in past leaks maybe, or past discussions regarding Dragon Quest, so that's interesting. But yeah, everyone's been screaming about the shield like, oh my god, does this mean that Erdrick is in Smash Brothers? And apparently, according to this Twitter user, Kumazaki has been taking weird actions with it. He's not aware at all of the data mining rumors out there. He's completely blind to that discussion. However, I'm going to stop you right there, and the tweet also stops itself right there, because it could just be him teasing. Could completely just be him having a little fun tease about the Dragon Quest. I mean, yeah, it's interesting, because it's like, people will say, oh, the creators aren't aware of these discussions, they aren't aware of these rumors. Bullshit, they are aware. They are always aware. Every time. Sakurai knows when people are leaking his games. Sakurai knows when people are discussing shit. The Smash team will know. These people will know. Their marketing, usually, it's planned. It is tactical. And, So anyway, it makes sense if you live in Japan, as Dragon Quest is the whole, it's basically JRPG royalty there. But there is something you all might not be aware of, and it could lead to a scary scenario. This is where it gets interesting. This is where this Twitter thread gets fun. So let's listen to this. Believe it or not, Erdrick himself, the hero everyone thinks it's gonna be, is actually owned by 3 companies: Square Enix, Arma Project, and Bird Studio. And another few things to point out, Square gets his assets, while Arma owns the assets. Bird Studio / Akira Toriyama own the character, and while insiders have been saying that a Dragon Quest character is coming, that is true. Dragon Quest's success made Pokemon and Shin Megami Tensei, but I have no idea what that's even talking about. I don't know what that part of the tweet's about. I guess maybe what Dragon Quest was so popular that Pokemon and Shin Megami Tensei got boosts when they first came out? I don't fucking know. Koichi Sugiyama doesn't want the rest of the world to hear his music because of this. The international releases of Dragon Quest games use MIDI music instead of the orchestral. Ooh, okay. And the only conclusion this person can come to is that Dragon Quest, while popular, would be the biggest negotiations nightmare. And if you thought Final Fantasy music legal issues was a nightmare, meh. So, that is interesting. Now, obviously, this is completely a thread from a normal Twitter user. They are not an insider or an expert, and they bring up a good point. If this is all true, and if this does affect Erdrick specifically, assuming Erdrick is the character people want it to be, does that mean it's going to be a negotiations nightmare? Because I would laugh. I would genuinely laugh, because it would be the second Square Enix property in Smash to be a negotiations hellish nightmare. And now I'm thinking, well, first things first, if this is all true, why would they go through that when there are so many other companies out there who would probably give them their character and a truckload of music? And that's the important thing to note. We're going to be getting music tracks with this DLC. If we get 2 music tracks with a character, I don't think people are going to be very happy with that, because that's not exactly what we were promised. We're paying for this DLC, we're not just paying for the character, we're paying for a good stage, we're paying for a good amount of music as well. I feel like if you're only going to give us 2 tracks or whatever, or like say what like Final Fantasy did, we're doing that for example, I'd be pissed. I would be pissed. And now this makes me think, is this going to come into effect and possibly cause Dragon Quest to not actually get a character because of how Erdrick specifically has all this friggin' issues with the assets kind of thrown around. Then again, even though this is more of an Erdrick issue, it is worth pointing out that Jump Force did get a Dragon Quest character added to their lineup, and that makes sense, because Akira Toriyama does the character designs for the entire Dragon Quest franchise, right? I'm pretty sure that's correct. And he's also the guy who made Dragon Ball, so of course they're gonna get a Dragon Quest character in an anime manga game where Akira Toriyama's designs are quite important, you know? So, I don't know if Jump Force is really a good kind of moniker to compare Smash Brothers to, when it makes sense that we got these characters in Jump Force. That being said, I don't think this is as big a problem as we're making it out to be, because Akira Toriyama will probably want to get his characters out as far as he wants. Square and Arma probably work together on the Dragon Quest series anyway, so of course they're going to be working together to get the characters out there. They were happy to put them in Jump Force. I mean, they're clearly not the issue here. The only thing that scares me is Koichi Sugiyama saying like, I don't want the rest of the world to hear my music. Bam! Use MIDI. Don't use orchestral. They could just use MIDI for the Western releases for the DLC though, so even though it could be a negotiations nightmare, at the same time, it's Nintendo. And they are known for making decisions that baffle the mind, but they are also known for going the extra mile to make sure people get characters they want. I mean, I don't want Erdrick. I'm gonna be real with you guys. If you've watched my channel, you know I really don't want Erdrick, because I have no connection to Dragon Quest. But that doesn't mean that I won't be happy for people that do want Erdrick, and at the same time, I'm not gonna let my bias against Erdrick deter me from the fact that all of this information, while definitely interesting, while definitely worth considering, really, I don't think it's gonna stop Nintendo. So, it just comes down to whether Erdrick is going to be the next character, and who else could contend him. I've already gone on record in the past stating that there are only a few characters that could probably contend for a Brave codename, and the one that I think everyone's kind of hoping it is Sora, because I believe his Valor form from Kingdom Hearts 2 translates to Brave form in Japanese, but then when you think about that connection, that is a very, very, very small connection, and unless it's Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora that is being added into the game, it makes absolutely zero sense context-wise, and thus, that is why everyone is focusing on Dragon Quest. And yeah, it just comes down to whether this information really does affect anything, because honestly, I think most of us have been operating under the fact that Square Enix owns Dragon Quest. And the fact is, Dragon Quest is a very big franchise, and it's had some Western releases. The last Western release did so well that I just can't see this being an issue. I feel like maybe if the series was a little less known, I think it would be more of an issue. But because of how big Dragon Quest is, I don't think that the different assets and the different negotiations and all that is going to be a problem, especially since Nintendo is the one who's selected the shortlist for Sakurai to pick from, and Nintendo are probably going to be the ones doing the negotiations anyway, and, like, if you're getting a character into Smash Brothers, I mean, like, why would you be a negotiations nightmare if you're going to want to get your character into Smash, you know? Because, I mean, it's one of the biggest games of the decade, and it's such a big franchise to get your character in that I just can't imagine why people would be stingy about it. And obviously Final Fantasy, we know the only reason we don't have a lot of music is because it costs a lot. It costs a lot of goddamn money. But yeah. So, what do you guys think? First things first, do you guys think that Erdrick is still brave? Has there been any updates that I don't know about that could contend with this information? Please let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this little video. Hope you had fun. I haven't made one of these in a long time, but I'm hoping to at least get back in with the news a little bit with Smash and with Nintendo Directs and stuff. You can expect discussions on Directs and things as well when they come out, so. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my other videos. I'm still doing my Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Classic Mode playthroughs. I'm currently at episode 50, which is very exciting. We also have an episode on Piranha Plant that went out when the game was launched with the Piranha Plant, so you can check that out as well. And I have a new series called So I Just Finished, where I review / make a guide for various games, adding a sprinkling of memes, humor, entertainment, and it's been a lot of fun so far. The next episode's going to be a Resident Evil 2 episode, and it's going to be very entertaining. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. I'll see some of you guys later on Twitch for more Persona 5, and goodbye.